Hello, family. I hope you're well. Happy Monday. I was thinking about perhaps how best to just share some words of wisdom with you, or some words of encouragement, inspiration, motivation, whichever you choose to call it. And what I'd like to do is just read one of the sentences or words from one of my books, Wisdom Keys in Words. I kind of like the book. I did the design of the book myself. If you look, you can see a key to the side. Now, someone once said something about success and whether there were keys to success. I'm reminded by the question that was asked to H.L. Hunt, who at the time in the 1900s was the wealthiest man in the world, and he was asked, what is the key to success? And he said that there are three keys to success. The first is decide what you want. Number two, determine the price you're going to have to pay for what you want. And he said, finally, number three is pay the price. It's really that simple. And this is what life is all about. If you're not willing to pay the price, then you don't deserve the promise. Life comes in twos. Everything, I think, in my opinion, has a polar opposite. You wouldn't enjoy light without darkness, the same way you wouldn't understand the joy of winning without understanding what it would feel like, even if it's not emotionally, but intellectually, know what it would feel like to lose. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference between a really great meal, except you've actually had bad meal. And so there's a promise to success and there's a price. The promise is guaranteed because the world operates by laws, and the laws of the world and the universe are precise and perfect. And these universal laws guarantee those promises. They're infallible, they're perfect, they're precise, and they guarantee the promise. But there's a price. And what I found is you've got to pay the price first. You've got to pay the price in advance. You've got to pay the price in full. If you pay the price, then you get the promise. And in many cases, the price is something that we all can pay. The question is, how badly do we want it? And I found if you have strong enough reasons, if you have compelling reasons, you pay the price, and you pay the price gladly. As a matter of fact, if you're very clear about what you want, and if your desire is for something good, then what you find is that that price is not really a price, because you see that as a process. You see, the price is converted to a process where there is purpose. So think about this. Price converts into process if there's a process, a purpose. And a purpose is really the intent you have, the intent for that desire. Now, someone once said that desire is that unexpressed possibility of something that is within us, seeking for expression without. Very powerful. In other words, it simply means that dream or goal you have for a better life, for more success, for happiness, for joy, for peace, for prosperity, for good fortune, whatever that might be. That desire you have for a better life is an indication that it's possible. And this is where I started to change my mind. You know, I used to think when I was young that if you had dreams that were very different to what you had in your reality, we were told it was fantasizing, and we were looked upon as daydreamers. And today, I say to people, you got to dream with your eyes open, but dream with your mind. Create, design, build everything you want with your mind, because the future belongs to the dreamers. Now, I want to just digress and share something with you from this. I'm going to just flick to a page without really picking anyone. I'm just going to read out a part of the book. Now, this book, like I said, is it's called Wisdom Keys in Words. And these are just a collection. It's a collection of inspirational words. It's like a collection of great quotes. Now, why did I write this book? I come from very humble beginnings. And I remember growing up. And there was a time when, in my journey, I heard a lot of words. I'll give you a good example. You've all probably heard money is the root of all evil. Now, I heard that when I was a young child. And that word was repeated so many times, so often, that it became part of my belief system. And it took me years to discover the truth. It's only been in the last perhaps 2, 3, 4, 5 years that I've actually really understood the truth. And Winston Churchill said the truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may deride it, but in the end, there it is. And when you hear the truth, you know you've heard the truth. Now, if such a false statement had so much of a huge impact on me for that long, just imagine what is controlling your life. I believe that we are controlled by our conditioning, our paradigms, our habits, words spoken to us. I believe as a young child, there are 5 things that would affect your life as you grow up. One of them is your environment. Secondly, your relationships, the people around you. Third will be the events that happen as you travel along that journey of life. Number 4 are your goals and your dreams, the picture you have of the future. But I think the most important is the picture you have of yourself, your self-image. And your self-image is often shaped and formed as a result of what you hear. Now, I'm not suggesting that money is the best thing in the world. I will say this, however, that when I started to do my research about that statement, I realized that many of us misunderstood the statement. And I'm not talking about what is actually written. It does actually say the love of money. Now, it doesn't say the love of money leads to evil. It says it's the root, meaning you've got to understand how a tree is formed. In other words, a tree has a root. The root has to go really deep into the ground to allow that tree to grow. So in other words, what it's saying is the love of money is the beginning of all potential deviations and distractions in all areas of your life. Meaning, the more you love money, the more you worship money, the more you adore, then you're potentially developing a root that will continue to dig deep into the ground, and that could affect your entire life. Now, understand something. It says the love of money is the roots of all evil. It didn't say will become evil. It's what you do with those thoughts you have about money, the feelings and the actions. I have a philosophy that says if you can give your money away, then you own your money. If you cannot give it away, the money owns you. So that whole statement came down to one fact. Do you own your money or does it own you? In other words, do you own your money in thought, feeling and action? Is it controlling your life? Now, I kind of digressed. I think I went more than I was going to say. Apologies for that. But I want to read you a section of this book. I'm reading the 3rd part of the book. It says, questions are the ultimate secret to life. Very simple, very profound. Now, I'll show you what I just read. If you look at you see questions are the ultimate secrets to life. The 3rd one from the top. Powerful. Now, you might sit there and think, what does that mean? Let me share a thought with you. All answers, all of life's answers are hidden in questions. The quality of the questions you ask will determine the results in your life. So here is my recommendation to you on this beautiful day. Ask questions consistently. Now, I love being around kids. I love being around children. And if you've been around or you have young kids or children, or perhaps you teach, one of the things that kids have at a very young age is this obsession about questions. They can ask you 1,001 questions in one afternoon. But as they get older, unfortunately, their environment starts to influence them, and they start hearing things such as, you're asking too many questions. You're talking too much. You need to be quiet. I need some peace. Just be quiet. And so the child stops asking questions. Now, what is question? A question is simply an expression of that part of you that is creative. Is the curiosity part of you. It's that part of you where you're using a combination of your natural senses, sight, sound, smell, touch, taste, and you're combining that with your higher faculties, imagination, will, perception, reason, intuition. Intuition is you can sense the states, the vibration, if you want to call it that word, frequency. Some other people say you can feel the spirits in an area. Just imagine you walk into a space and you just say something doesn't feel right, because something in you says the energy, that's the word, energy. But a child at a young age has not developed that level of faculty that they have, that higher faculty. But also they're still only operating and using their natural senses. So although they can reason, they can't think properly because they haven't developed that. It's like a muscle. So they can only see with their eyes and their ears. And so what they do is they ask questions. Why? Because they're looking for understanding. You see, understanding is the greatest thing that exists out there, second to wisdom. That's why Solomon said, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, in all you're getting, get understanding. Because once you have understanding, now your awareness starts to increase. And as your awareness increases, your results change. So I'm going to be doing something quite interesting. And over the next number of days, every day I'm going to share one of the wisdom keys from this book. You can get the book on Amazon if you don't have it. It's worth it. I think it's really worth it. Strangely, it's a small book. I call it a small book. And so far I've written 6 books. This book took me more time to write than any of my normal books. Now, you might be thinking, how is that possible? It's just a few words. The reason is because a lot of thinking is required. Because in writing this book, I was asking myself, and I was saying to myself, what would it have felt like if I had all of these wisdom keys in my head at a young age? Rather than some of the self-limiting words, the words such as, you can't do this. I was raised by two great parents. My mother was amazing. My father was exceptional. And unfortunately, we were financially challenged. You might say, use the word. I don't want to use the word poor, because poor relates more to your spirit. It begins from your spirit, then it transcends to your mind, and then in the material form or physical form. But we were not financially well off. We were spiritually wealthy, but we were not financially wealthy or materially wealthy. And I grew up with a lot of limitations on what I could do. A lot of limitations. And a lot of people say a lot of affirmations, but very few people believe it. Why? Because they haven't heard those affirmations enough. And so I started to pull together a collection of what I thought would be some of the best words that could help people, that could empower, that can enlighten, that can inspire, that can educate people into living a very meaningful and enjoyable life. Now, it covers various areas. I talk about success. I talk about how to dream and dreams. I talk about potential. I talk about, continuous learning and personal development, focus, routines and rituals, influence, appreciation, gratitude, lifestyle, motivation, choices, time, winning, just action, taking action, your inner circle, people you hang around. It's such a powerful book. And what it is just a short words, powerful short words that you can hear over and over again, and through repetition, spaced repetition, because spaced repetition is the key to all learning and is the architect of all change. Why should you get it? I think it's a great gift if you want to give someone a gift in such a way. There are some people you know, but you don't want to give them a book because it's somewhat suggestive. With this book, it's very neutral because it covers about, in this book, I have about 30 different areas of life. So it doesn't matter whether you're 7 years old or 5. It doesn't matter whether you're 69 or whether you're 101. There's something for you in this book. And I hope you get a copy. I think it'll be worth it. And when I start the session, I'm yet to give I might give it a title. Perhaps I'll say Wisdom Talk. Maybe Wisdom Talk. I'll think about something more sexy than that. I think that's a bit boring, Wisdom Talk. See, wisdom is not a very sexy word like success or greatness or inspiration. When we talk about wisdom, most people get bored. They're like, oh, not again. Because it reminds you of going back to school. But I'll think of something. But if you could get a copy, that would be great. Because what we can do is we can go step by step through each of these wisdom keys. And what I can do specifically is tell you how to use the word or the key, when to use it, when to let go of it and choose something else, and various things like that. And the reason I want to do this is this. You see, information is great, but information is like, it gives you the tool, if you want to use that word. Wisdom, on the other hand, transcends just having a tool. You see, information has to be converted to knowledge, but you do that through study, through education. But having knowledge alone doesn't lead to success. It doesn't create the results you want, because what you must do next is have understanding and awareness. And through understanding and awareness, now you can comprehend what you have as information or knowledge, but through application, then you have wisdom. So what I want to do is show you, first of all, give you the information in words, but also show you when to use it, how to use it, what to do with it, but also more importantly, when to let go of that information and pick up a different key. Because think about this. When I wrote this book, I thought about keys. You know, you can come to see me, you can come to my house, and I can give you, just as you're walking towards the building, let's assume that I'm about to go out, and I give you a bunch of keys. The bunch of keys are the keys to the rooms in the house. Let's assume this is a mansion, a big mansion. Now, what if I gave you just one key out of the bunch, but all that bunch contains all of the keys to every single door in the mansion? But if I gave you just one key, and that key I gave you was just for the front door, you realize you can walk into the front door and stand there in the beautiful lobby. You can admire how beautiful the lobby is, but you can't get into any other areas of the house because all of the other doors are locked and you don't have the key. And that's the reason why most people are struggling in all areas of life: financially, health, well-being, relationships, happiness, joy, peace, good fortune, prosperity, because some people have one key. It could be a key to perhaps good health, but that key for good health does not open the key for prosperity. It doesn't open the door to good fortune and happiness. You need more keys, and that's what this book does for you. It gives you keys. Now, I hope that's been useful. I want to wish you the best. Let me say this to you as I go away. There's a fascinating thing about you. There's something fascinating about you. There's something unique and distinct about you. Find out what that is. Now, everyone around you may not recognize that unique quality you have, but find out what that is. Through conformity, we're all the same. Through our differences, we stand apart, but not standing apart because we're trying to be better than the next person. We stand apart because we were uniquely born to be different. 7 billion people in the world today, and none of us is like you. There's a reason. 107 billion people who have lived, who have journeyed through this life and gone, passed on to the better place. None of them are like you or myself. And long after I am gone, and long after you are gone, the world will continue, and there will be more billions of people, and not even trillions of people, but still, none of the people yet to be born will be like you or me. There's a uniqueness in you. Find out what that is. And it all begins with study. And I believe from the bottom of my heart that I can show anyone how to find their true life's purpose and calling. And what I'm going to be doing when I start sharing some of the ideas in this book is I'll start changing the way you think. And as I change the way you think in a positive way, that I can promise. One thing I can guarantee is everything that I share will be constructive. It will be educational. It will be inspiring. It will be motivating. It will be insightful. And the whole purpose of what I'm going to be doing with you is not to tell you who you are. It will be to create the environment around in thoughts, through spoken words, by painting pictures with words, so that that greatness in you can come out. Now, education in itself is not just about putting things in people's head. It comes from the word educo, which means to draw from within. What I want to do is draw that genius that lies in you, if you give me a chance. Now, let me wish you the best of luck. I hope you have a great day. I hope you find happiness in whatever you do. And more than anything, I hope as you travel through the day, you pay attention to the moments, because in every moment is hidden. In many cases, in every moment is hidden a life-changing experience or opportunity. Joy is found in moments. And so as you go through the day, I wish you joy, I wish you happiness. And I hope that whatever dreams you have or goals that you've planned for today, I hope that you find them to be worthy of the sacrifice you've made to have them. God bless. Wish you the best.